All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again. It's Easter weekend, so that means a podcast has to be done, Grinding, always doing the work, all that good stuff. Today I'm joined by the co-founder, the president of the FitPlan application. Over 7+ million downloads. My man, Cam Speck. What's going on?
Thanks, brother. Appreciate the intro. Yeah, man, life's good. Life's good.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I know we were talking just before we hit the record button. You're down in Miami. You're soaking up the rays, the sun, the beach vibes. How's it going on down there for all of us Canadians are back here in lockdown?
Yeah, man, I mean, I know it's tough up there in Canada. I'm originally from Canada. I have a lot of friends out there, and most of my family's still in Canada, so I understand like the lockdown and what everyone's going through. Uh, I've been living in the States, on and off since 2016, full time since 2019. So for a couple of years now, and our company is headquartered in Los Angeles, but with the lockdowns and pandemic, our office closing, we weren't able to go to the office. I decided to make a move to Miami where everything was kind of open.
Hmm.
My freedom means a lot to me, and I want to put myself in environments and situations where I can, be productive and be happy and maintain a level of sanity. So we decided to come down here to Miami, and vibes are good. There was a little bit of mayhem out here during the spring break down in Miami Beach and South Beach, but we stayed clear of that. So yeah, man, it's really good vibes out here. The weather's incredible, good people, and everything's open. So I no complaints for us.
I feel you, man. I love it. I love it. Love the energy. And so soft spoken and well spoken also too. I want to get into it. I think the audience wants to get into this. That app, how did it become what it is today? The creation behind it and things like that.
Yeah, man, I love actually telling this story because it was a personal passion to be honest that just emerged. My partner and I, we met in 2011 in the bar and nightclub space. We were both working in bars and restaurants, went on to own bars and restaurants and all that sort of stuff. But we took a light to each other at an early sort of age in our career in the bar and nightlife because we were both actively working out. We were fit. So, two young guys in basically their early 20s were looking at each other and like, yeah, you fit, you work out. Yeah, yeah, you work out. All right, let's work out together. So that's kind of how our relationship started. We started working out together. And, later on throughout this path of just creating this bond and this friendship that started in the gym, we decided that we wanted to sort of influence other people with some of the fitness lifestyle guidance that we had learned. And I became pretty successful in terms of growing through the ranks in the bar and restaurant space. I was a bartender at the age of 19. I was a manager by the age I was 21, and by the time I was 24, I was a managing director of 7 different locations in a restaurant franchise that we started from the ground up. And everyone I was asking, like, how do you do that? Like, how are you, reaching that level of success at such a young age and so motivated and passionate and inspired? And it was really because I was setting routines through health and fitness. I was working out every day. I was, bringing my food to the restaurant, which is kind of bizarre. But I was on a meal plan and just following a very consistent nutrition routine as well as my fitness routine. And it gave me the energy I needed to really focus and produce the results that others couldn't. Others were, fueling their body with processed foods and drinking a lot and spending their weekends hungover or partying.
Hmm.
And, I did some of that. Like, I'm not going to lie, I did some of that and it was fun and you got to do that. But I was really focused on growing through my career and setting a foundation with health and fitness to take care of my body and my mind. So it gave me the mental
Hmm.
clarity, it gave me the energy, and it gave me the discipline to achieve the things I wanted to outside of the gym as well as in the gym. So my partner and I were very aligned on this concept of setting routines and being disciplined with those routines consistently. So we ended up moving in together. He's got a multimedia and design background. And while we were living together and still working in the bars and running bars and super busy, he was running an app agency. He was developing apps for music festivals, developing apps for even bars and restaurants, and helping them with their social media. And I was on the other side, like helping train people on their fitness and nutrition routines because they were like, "Wow, man, you got tons of energy. You're a happy guy. You're successful. Like, what do you do? What's your magic
Mm-hmm.
pill?" And I was like, "Well, it starts with health and fitness. Got to take care of your body. Got to take care of your mind." So that's where the seed was planted for us. And like I said, it was just a personal passion. We were following fitness and nutrition routines, but way back then, you were writing out your own fitness routine and nutrition routine on a piece of paper or a PDF document, which wasn't all
Mm-hmm.
that of a great user experience.
Mm-hmm.
So him being in the app world and the digital sort of media world, we sort of came up with this idea, said, hey, if we could package workout plans and meal plans into an application that people could follow on their mobile device, that would solve a huge consumer need. First for us, and then for the other people that are asking us for these workout plans and meal plans, create a scalable piece of software. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where the idea really originated. It was just a personal passion that became something that we wanted to help other people with. And so we hired a guy and, we built sort of a first version of an app called Total Fitness and Nutrition in 2012. The guy we hired, he built the thing in the basement of his parents' house. So it's kind of like the typical entrepreneur story.
Yep.
And, and then we got into a place where we launched it to the market. We got some incredible consumer feedback about like, wow, this is a phenomenal idea. Like you're, replacing my personal trainer in a sense with a piece of software that I can do anywhere for a fraction of the price. And it doesn't like I'm not restricted to a trainer, a gym, or paying a big fee to go
Mm-hmm.
see a personal trainer. So that was where we all started, and it just kind of snowballed from there. So that's kind of the origin story of how the company sort of started.
No, no, and that's amazing. You know what I mean, and things like that. And I feel like now that you just spoke to it, also Canada, we're back in a lockdown. Gyms are closed. I feel like you may get this question a lot. How does this
Mhm.
app make us and inspire us to want to work out at home? And what can we learn from this app and going into the navigation aspect of it and what we're getting into?
Man, it's so important right now more than ever. The one thing that the media is not telling us is that, they're telling us everything that we shouldn't do, but they're
Mm-hmm.
not telling us what we should do. And now more time than ever, we should be taking care of our health and not just our physical health, but our mental health. And, working out and putting good food into your body, you know, helps that tremendously. You know, just exercise, any sort of like high intensity interval training, even
Mm-hmm.
moderate to aggressive training, it promotes neurogenesis, which basically means it helps your brain regenerate new cells. You can become smarter. It also helps you. It helps with depression. It helps with Alzheimer's. It helps with any sort of like long-term anxiety. So all these things that we're experiencing in this uncertain world right now, not knowing what's going on, what's true, when it's going to open, when it's not, businesses are suffering, relationships are suffering, people are spending more time with their significant other than they ever have, or their
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. And it's just a new world we're living in terms of
Exactly.
managing those things. But the biggest thing we all need to remember is when you take care of yourself, you take care of the people around you. When you show up for yourself, you're going to show up for those around you. So the easiest and most efficient and the best way to do that is just having a consistent movement routine. You don't have to go to the gym and bench press a bunch of weight, get under the bar and squat a bunch of weight, but moving your body is the fundamental best way to improve your mood, your health, your immunity, and like give yourself the self confidence you need to just do the things that you have to do on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
So the app
Mm-hmm.
provides home workouts for any level that you can do anywhere from 7 minutes to 60 minutes. We've got home workouts that you can do with just dumbbells or bands or body weight. I've got a couple different body weight programs on there. And they're designed in a way that, you go into the app, you tap into the app, and it lays everything out that you're supposed to do in a video-based format. And all of our workout plans are designed and filmed by some of the best athletes, trainers, and influencers on the planet. So again, you're like following stuff that's tested, proven, from somebody that's inspiring in the space, that this is what they do. So, I mean, I always recommend, it's helped me with everything: mood, success, fulfillment, relationships, business, absolutely everything. Setting that routine, being disciplined with that routine, and just knowing that you're taking care of yourself, which is the absolute fundamental best thing you can do. And you're going to be able
Absolutely.
to take care of those people around you, whether that be your parents,
Absolutely.
your significant other, your kids, colleagues, whatever.
Absolutely. You speak about the trainers and the influencers. So how did you and your team select the right trainers and the influencers? I looked at the app the other day and I'm looking at it and I see Laura Finley, Danny Bell, Scott Matheson. I'm like, how did he select all these guys to come over to the app? So how did you and your team select the right or handpick the right people to come onto the app?
Yeah, really, we discovered most of these trainers, just like the audience would discover these people on social media. So
Hmm.
we found most of these trainers, on Instagram or Facebook, and then we did our analysis of their style. You can really, learn a lot about a person based on what they're doing, to the general public, like what they're showcasing to the general public. Like all of those three that you just mentioned, constantly and consistently put out high value content. All three of them, get on their stories and they talk to their audience about fitness, nutrition, lifestyle. So we go through like a pretty vigorous process around, why this trainer would work well for our community
Hmm.
and why we want to partner with this trainer. What kind of person are they?
Hmm.
Do they align with the morals and core values that we hold within our company? And those three that you mentioned obviously do. So, we first sort of discover them on a social landscape through the different platforms. And if there's interest, myself and my partner Landon will reach out. We'll have a phone call. We'll see if there's alignment there with what they're currently doing in the fitness business and what they want
Hmm.
to do long term. And we know what our consumers want. We talk to our consumers, we pull our consumers, we hear from them, and we like to implement the things that they request. And most of the trainers on our platform, to be honest, have been requested from our community members. So,
That's amazing. I love that.
mhm.
I love that. It's the camaraderie that you guys have in the community, and it's all about building a tribe of the right people that are going to
Mm.
be wanting to follow with your journey and things like that. So I turn the lens back to you now. The app, everything's going well. Let me ask you this question. What are you excited about when it comes to work? And what does keep you up at night? I know it's a two-part question.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, like, it's fascinating because there's not a lot that keeps me up at night anymore. And the reason why, and it's not because I have less challenges. I mean, as the company grows, we have more and more challenges, but we've learned
Hmm.
to manage those challenges quite a bit better.
Hmm.
I sort of share this quote often: don't ask for, smaller challenges, ask for broader shoulders. Because as you grow and as you move through these challenges, as you adapt and persevere, you're gonna, you know, gain tools on how to manage those challenges. So, but the things that I think about very often, that keep me up way past when I should be going to bed, are stuff like, am I providing enough value and meaning to our community members? Am I leading, as well as I can to our tribe and our community? Our staff, am I taking care of them like I would take care of my best friend? Am I giving them the growth path that they deserve to go from where they are right now to where they desire, to evolve to? So it's, for me, everything that keeps me up at night has to do with the people and questioning myself if I'm doing enough for these people and can I do more? And where is their thresholds of value contribution that I can bust through and break through? So those are the things that I often think about, more or less because I'm like a very, I'm a people person. It's not that I
Hmm.
like to please people, but I like to
Hmm.
provide as much value as I possibly can to those people, because the
Absolutely.
people in your organization are your biggest asset. So those are the things that I constantly think about. And I feel like with any business, you take care of your people and you have really good people on your team and you've built a very, very good tribe that
Hmm.
trust you, that care about you, that care about the business, that share that vision, that want to follow that vision, that want to make that vision come to fruition. That's the best investment you could ever make.
Hmm.
And you will then deliver the outcome that you're looking for.
No, no, 100%. And I feel like as the business mind, the entrepreneurship, you talk about the businesses, you talk about this app. What I would say is, what business book have you or have you read, right? And what's the biggest thing you learned from it?
Hmm. I mean, there's I'm a reader. I don't classify myself as I read books. I'm a reader, so I just constantly read. I think like some of the really great books I've read recently. I read Atomic Habits, which
Okay.
it, it's not necessarily about how to solve business problems, but it's about removing some of the bad habits you may have and implementing some of the good habits that you should have to increase your productivity and focus. I think a lot of things in business come down to prioritization and focus, especially in a startup business. Like when you want to do everything, you want to make everything
Hmm.
happen, you want everything to happen now, you get
Hmm.
distracted by the bright new shiny things where
Exactly.
you need to not take a step back, but zoom out and observe what's going on so you can focus on the things that are going to move the needle right now. So I took that perspective in that context from that book that I just read, and I figured it was relatable to this conversation. So that's a really good one. Zero to One is an incredible book. Bold by Peter Diamandis is an incredible book. Principles by Ray Dalio is a very, very good book. So you institute these different principles into your organization. They're almost like core values, but they're more tangible in a sense that
Exactly.
these are principles that you follow. So yeah, there's a few that I mean are definitely recommended to check out if you're in business or startup and want to understand business. Um, there's a really good book in terms of finances called Profit First, and it's a different
Hmm.
way of looking at your finances in your company and how you're thinking about profit and making that profit. So
Hmm.
that's a really good book. Yeah, I mean there's a handful there.
No, no, totally, totally. I feel like when we think about business and we think about entrepreneurship, it's that, it's that challenging thing to do. You know what I mean? With me creating a podcast, you creating an app, things like that. And I feel like a lot of people always wonder, how do we get the wake up and find the motivation to do what it is that we want to do, right? And you said it, like serving the community, serving the people that look up to us, serving the people that want to really understand how to get the ball rolling. Motivation is very hard to come by, especially when we're living in COVID now, and knowing that we're back into this semi-form lockdown here in Canada, in Ontario, where I'm at, it's a challenge. Gyms are closed. So it's like, I got to get on the FitPlan app now and figure out what type of workouts are going to be out there. You know what I mean? And that's coming from the health and training background and things like that. How would you say you stay motivated, right? When the smoke clears, the dust settles, it's the day's over, you're at home, you're in Miami, you have your feet up. How do you stay motivated, my man?
Yeah, man, this is a really interesting conversation because people always ask like, how do you stay motivated? I don't. That's the answer. I don't always
Hmm.
stay motivated, and I'll tell you why. It like you know, not everything in your life is exciting that you're doing, and some things that you do aren't going to be as exciting as signing Alex Rodriguez or having a conversation with Alex Rodriguez or going to Jennifer Lopez's show because you just did a deal with Alex Rodriguez or hanging out with Rob Gronkowski. Those are the most exciting parts of the business, right?
Hmm.
Or
Hmm.
when we're sharing massive wins within our organization, we're crushing through goals. That stuff's very, very exciting, and it helps to build the momentum, which creates this motivation. But sometimes it's not always like that. You're going to have to do things that you don't always want to do that aren't exciting. So the thing that I think about in terms of crafting and creating this momentum is think small and big things will happen. And what I mean by
Hmm.
that, people are listening like, what are you talking about? Like, think small. Like, you're an entrepreneur. You got to think as big as you can. Yeah, but on a day-to-day basis, if you focus on the small things and you focus really, really well on those small things, big things will happen. And those small things, if you appreciate those and you use those as wins, that's what's going to build motivation. So if you're always thinking about, let's just say you started a company and it's like, my motivation or my goal is $100,000 a month in revenue, but you're so far from that. If you hit $10,000, you don't think that's a big win. That's not going to give you the motivation to keep going. But
Mm-hmm.
if a dollar, if you look at a dollar as a win, a small win, and another dollar, and that compounds to 100,000 and past your goal, and you're feeding off that little incremental wins that juice the motivation. That's the best to do it. So for me, I focus on the small wins. I want to always be winning, and that's what
Exactly.
creates the motivation. Always be winning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's how you define winning what creates that motivation. So for me, I get up in the day, I make my bed, winning, right? I do my 25-minute meditation, winning. I sit down and I write out like what my number one item is I want to tackle in the day. I tackle it, winning. So that's what creates the motivation is focus on the small things and the big things will happen. Appreciate the small wins every single day, and that's how you compound the motivation to keep going.
Wow, you just dropped a gem right there, and I hope the audience really captured that, and listened to what you just said there. You know what I mean? Because I always say is those small incremental wins add up in the long run. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you got to crawl before you walk, walk before you can run before you can sprint. You know what I mean? And just keep
Absolutely.
processing, and things like that.
And when you
What
think
was
about
it?
it from a
Yeah.
fitness, when you think about it from a fitness level, it's like, just focus on that day. Just like before you go to bed at night, okay, I'm gonna work out for 20 minutes tomorrow.
Hmm.
I don't give a shit what you do. Jump up and down, do jumping jacks, whatever that looks like. Just move your body. If you do something that you told yourself you're going to do, you're in alignment with yourself, right? You're keeping your word. That's going to create commitment. That's going to create internal belief, and that's going to create motivation. So if you say you're going to do something, follow through with doing it to yourself. That's your own relationship, right? That's going to create your own motivation because motivation comes from within. It can't come from anything external. Everything that we do inside creates the external reality. So, I mean, when it comes to fitness, I tell people just focus on the one workout, and when you're there, focus on the one exercise, focus on that one rep. That's it. After each rep or exercise that you completed, you're winning. Keep winning. That's it.
I love it, man. Love the energy. What was the energy like with Alex Rodriguez and Rob Gronkowski? Because not everybody every single day may have a chance to sit down and talk with those sports icons and businessmen.
Yeah, I actually, had the pleasure of sitting down and interviewing both of them in different occasions. I was interviewing Alex Rodriguez at Jennifer Lopez's house in the Hamptons. It's a the vacation home. Nobody's been there. They haven't shot content in it. So we went there and shot like this episode. And he's got a really good understanding of the fitness space itself and what a company like FitPlan is doing to help the community. The community being these active people that want to transform their lives and they want to be better. They're committed to just improvement. And as human beings, we're like that's one of our strongest desires is we want to improve. We want to achieve. We want to constantly be moving forward. Because everything in this world is moving, right? That's how the
Mm-hmm.
universe is. It's
Mm-hmm.
just on this cycle. So he really understood the value of being able to support and help people in their fitness journey on the road to improving and transforming. He also is a brilliant business mind,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
he talks a lot about team. Obviously coming from baseball, it's all about team. Like he transformed or transmuted, I guess, that sort of analogy from building an incredible baseball team to building an incredible team in business. So he's very focused on his people, on his team, and the people that he brings in. He loves young entrepreneurs like myself and being able to help mentor them or provide inspiration or perspective to, you know, reach their goals. So very, very, very incredible business mind from Alex. You know, he's got a lot of experience. He's doing really good things with A-Rod Corp now. He's got
Mm-hmm.
lots of investment experience. So getting to talk to him a lot about like, you know, market economics was a really interesting conversation. And Rob is like one of the funniest, most charismatic people I've ever
Yep.
met in my entire life. Like, guy is a
Yep.
beauty,
Yep. We
and
see it all
just
the
like,
time. Yeah.
yeah, man, it's just an incredible story. Like growing up with four brothers, and you know, just all of the nonsense those guys were getting into, and the stories he was able to tell. But how he stayed so focused on football, and how, you know, he was telling me stories about like he never spent any of his money that he made on football ever.
Yeah.
The only money he ever spent was like the money he got from like promotional dollars from doing campaigns or product placements and stuff. But he would keep all of the money he made in football for investments, for you know, to grow more money. Like he was very smart in that sense. He wasn't out buying cars and Lambos and houses and all of that sort of stuff, right? Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
he said, I remember, and I can't recall in what year it was, but he bought one thing for himself, and it was a necklace, and it was like I don't know, 10 or 12 grand or something like that. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
that's really the only thing I've ever bought. Like he's not the type of person that's doing this for the fame or to purchase all these materialistic things. He's doing it for the love of the game. Like he loves the game. So man, he you can just tell by the guy he is. Like just fun to be around, incredible energy. You know, very hard worker, obviously. And yeah, man, just great personality.
No, definitely, definitely. When you sit into these places with these athletes and these business guys, you know, high prolific guys, you tend to, they always say you're stronger than the company that you keep. You know what I mean? And so
Mm,
you start kind of, what's the word they say, adapting to their principles and their lifestyles and things like
hmm
that. And I always say is humble. When you're humble, everything comes to you when it needs to. You know what I mean? And I can see that with you because, you know, how many people do we see that gain a little bit of fame, a little bit of notoriety, sorry, and they decide to, you know, think that they're bigger and better than everybody, and they lose
mm,
track and they lose sight of life. You know what I mean? And I
mm.
feel like just with your humbleness and your cadence, you can see that, you know, you have this creation, you know what I mean? And it's doing so well, but you never lost sight of what it is that you're about, you know, and things
Mhm.
like that. So I can
Yeah,
appreciate that with you and things like that.
thank you.
Before we get out of here, what's your biggest call to action for the rest of 2021?
Oh yeah, man, that's a good one. I guess the biggest call to action for me, hmm, you know what it is, and I talked in the beginning of this interview about people. My biggest call to action in 2020, because I know a lot of people had a really tough time, is opening up my arms and opening up the door onto how I can really help them transition back into, you know, momentum and we talked about motivation and, you know, stealing inspiration from other people and using it for themselves. Like I'm really focused this year on helping people, not just on like a business level, but on a one-to-one level, break through their plateaus. You
Mm-hmm.
know, develop the tools and the routines that they need to get out of this state of unease, uncertainty, fear, and into a state of momentum, inspiration, aspiration, fun. You know, so that's really what my biggest desire is for you know the rest of this year here is helping my tribe, my team, and the people out there that need it most level up, and you know really get themselves in a position to reach the life or to live the life that they truly desire. Because you
Mm-hmm.
know, let's face it, like you know, there's a pandemic going on. Yeah, absolutely. There's people locked down. There's people losing businesses, but the one thing that we do have is we have choice, and we have choice to harness opportunity. So wherever you see a challenge, try and see that as an opportunity. I lost my job. Well, maybe that was meant to happen for me to find what I truly like. And if you think about it, I didn't like that job anyway. They didn't pay me very well. My boss was a dick, whatever that looks like, right? So try and transform that conversation to like, how can I take that challenge and make it into an opportunity to do the things I've always wanted to do the things my heart and soul have been telling me to do, the thing that, creates joy and happiness, all that stuff. So, take everything with a grain of salt, but understand that these challenges can create opportunities. And you always get a fresh start every single day when you wake up. You get a fresh start to decide what you want to do and how you want to show up and how do you want to live your life. So
That's well said, Cam. And I appreciate you. And I know the audience are going to listen back to this a few times and really understand the magnitude of why we're here and why we're doing what we're doing and empowering the individuals that we want to empower and things like that. So hats off to you.
that's right.
Before we get out of here, my man, right? We're going to plug the social media. Where can everybody check out the app? I see the shameless plug. You know what I mean? The FitPlan app. And what is one of the biggest reasons why they need to download this app and get plugged in it today?
Yeah, I think before I go into where you can find us, I think the biggest thing is like, I mean, if you don't have some sort of movement routine going on right now, you need to. It's the number one thing that's going to improve your mood, your health. Not just like it's not about looking good; it's about feeling your best. If you're feeling down for whatever reason, your mood is down, your energy levels are down, get your ass moving. So FitPlan lays out all of the programs. There's workouts that you can just do on a single basis. So you can tap in and do a yoga workout. You can tap in and do a lower body workout. You can tap in and do a full body high intensity interval training workout. You can go to the gym and do a full 12-week program. So there's tons of variety, and we've got over 45 different trainers that train you in terms of different training styles, different levels. So I mean, we're giving you a whole garden of workout plans, and all you have to do is execute. So we lay it all out there. We give you the trainers. There's a massive camaraderie in terms of our tribe, in terms of our community within the product itself. So if you want to be a part of a tribe and a community that wants to live a better life, then FitPlan's the place for you. I mean, if you want to, stay where you are, if you think you have it all and you're feeling 100% happy and content with where you're at, it might not be the place for you. But if you want something more out of life, if you want to, improve in every area of your life, then FitPlan's the community definitely for you guys. And I think like you can find us on our websites, www.fitplanapp.com, Instagram at @fitplan_app, my Instagram at CamSpeck. So, I mean, you can find us on social media. You can download us in the App Store, FitPlan app. It's one of the first that pops up. So, that's what's up, man.
Hey, man, Cam, I appreciate you. Love the energy. I'm definitely going to plug into this app because I have no gym to go to. So,
Yeah,
like the rest of the world, or in Ontario here in Canada, it's time to download the app, get signed up, and let's get the ball rolling. You know what I mean? So I appreciate
absolutely,
you.
brother.
All right, my man. Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. Thanks for doing what you're doing, brother.
Thank you.